What was that? What? What's that sound? Where? It's aliens and they're living in your town. Where? They have arrived. What? They're all around. So many aliens living in your town.
Hello, sweet weirdos out there in the weirdo land. How the heck is everyone doing? Let's just get right into it. Happy World Pest Day.
Ooh.
World what?
Pest.
Pest.
What is the worst pest you've ever had, besides an ex, that you've had in your house?
You mean all right?
And it can be anything, from the scorpions to the ratones, the mice. I'll even take a caterpillar infestation.
I was sleeping in Colorado, and you know how sometimes you turn on like a crumb if you eat in your bed, and it kind of scratches your side.
Yeah.
Well, so I thought it was that, so I just ignored it, and I turned over, and I felt it on my other side, and I lifted up my sheet, and there was a centipede, probably I don't know, like however long this is, probably 6 to 7 inches long, crawling on my chest.
Oh.
I whipped it into the wall, and then it climbed in Colorado, all the air conditioning vents, or they don't really have air conditioning, the heating vents are all on the floor, and it fell into that, and I go, oh, that just sucks so bad.
It's like something out of a horror movie.
Oh, it was horrific.
I think if you've ever been overtaken by a species in your own home, that's going to be the thing you hate the most. I have such a respectful fear of rats ever since I had the rat problem at my old townhouse. That changed my life. It changed the way I walk around every corner. I don't walk any corner with confidence.
Well, it was cool because everything was fine, and then you found a giant hole in a wall that led to like a nest upstairs.
It was you know those sandalwood townhouses.
They're everywhere.
They're everywhere.
That have you walk into a fenced area, into a front door area.
Yeah, my closet area just didn't have like the roof part of it.
Right.
It went straight up to the main roof
Under
of the
stairs.
fucking building.
They never finished it. It went all the way up.
So rats were just going, this guy loves pizza. This is the best place. Hey guys, over here. Splinter.
You woke up to one like junk pumping you.
Oh, you mean just watching?
He was like,
oh, yeah, no.
just really flaunting it.
It was awful. It felt like a man that was trying to get through my kitchen. It scared. I remember it was on a Friday morning, and it woke me up like 5 minutes before I needed to be up. And I go, what the shit was that? And I go, I know I've been hearing rats porking in my wall because I've been hearing them porking left and right for about 2 months. That's a lot of rat porking. Yeah. They multiply, Becket. I don't know how much you know about rat porking, but it's pretty bad. So I took a shower, and as I'm walking down the stairs and turn around the corner, the biggest, just jacked up rat. It was so swole looking with such confidence. Didn't break eye contact. Just kind of. Just mean mugging me.
Yeah.
I just grabbed the first thing I could find. I threw it at it. It didn't do shit. It almost hit it too. It did not sweat.
Wow.
And poor Denny's was scarred by it. He had to kill one of the rats. It was rough.
It was rough. Glad we brought that up.
Sorry. I'm so sorry. Well, no, he helped. It was already dead. It would not die.
Yeah.
Yeah. That was a rough moment.
Yeah, it was a rough moment for all of us. I didn't mean to bring
So
that
I'm
up.
guessing rat was your worst pest?
The worst. What makes you say that?
What about you, Vicky? What's your worst pest?
Honestly, it's not a typical one. When I was like, I want to say like maybe 10, my brother came home from college and he had a crate of peaches. And apparently in that crate of peaches were 2 poisonous baby snakes that were ready to hatch.
Oh,
so
my God.
there was a day where my mom's screaming for somebody. She had taken a glass Coke bottle and she had a little baby rattler, caught under that. And then there was a coral snake. So I wore shoes for the next 2 years.
Oh, my God.
Because that was back in the day of the shag carpeting. So you never knew what was actually in that carpeting. I was traumatized. I thought that there was, and back then snakes was my worst fear ever. Now I've overcome it.
All right.
But yeah, it was horrendous. I wore shoes for 2 years inside the house, and we didn't do that.
And you respect snakes, I can tell.
Yeah.
And Becket, did you have an answer?
So my second worst was a palmetto bug. Now, I'm not talking about like a little roach. I'm talking about those Amazon with wings, kind of like
hissing.
stumbles around like it's drunk.
I've seen
And
them.
I don't remember what the dream is, but I remember waking up and it was part of my dream because it was crawling all over me in bed, right? I woke up and I was like, oh, like looked down and I saw that thing all over me, and I realized that's what had been all over me, and I went like freaked out. I took a shower like Ace Ventura after he realized he kissed Finkel and like burnt my clothes. It was like I absolutely freaked out.
There's nothing worse than waking up with something crawling on you. That's not a person you want crawling on you.
Yeah, that was my second worst. My first is I become the biggest wuss, scaredy cat, whatever adjective with snakes, and there was a snake.
Pussy.
Yeah. Exactly. Bitch boy Becket
Snakes,
really,
huh? Both of you.
really comes to.
You overcame.
There was one slithering around in my hallway. I screamed like a little child, and I shut the front door, called someone, and I wasn't gonna come back until that thing was out of there. I hate snakes.
Damn.
Yeah, snakes are pretty rough, man, especially here in Florida. I mean, there was a snake in this house at one point, never found it. Hopefully it's out.
Oh, my God.
Hopefully it let itself out.
Yeah.
Just kidding, Vicky.
No, I overcame it, and this is the advice I'm gonna give you. So I was deathly afraid of snakes my entire life until online I came across a website where they have snakes wearing hats.
Oh,
So
geez.
I looked at a bunch of pictures of snakes wearing hats, and I'm like, oh my gosh, they're so cute.
Yeah.
And I am not kidding. It got me over my snake phobia.
They have those cute spider memes, and they still kind of like give me the willies.
Because I know Denny's really hates spiders. That is a legit fear of it. And I get it, man. Because my mom had a story from when she, kind of like what you're talking about with your brother, you said?
My brother came home with the crate that had the snakes. Yeah.
My mom came home with all of these cherries as a kid from the grocery store, but they were kind of old cherries. They were throwing them out from the back. So they were poor as shit. So when she saw that was, oh my gosh, holy crud balls.
Cherries back then too.
She grabbed them, brought them home, and it was just littered with, big ass spiders, dog.
God.
I know.
I'd be like, no
I mean,
cherries.
she said it looked like there was 1,000 spiders.
Dude, I had that happen in my car once. Like an egg sac bursted or whatever.
Oh my God.
Well, it looked like at first I thought because it was kind of getting dark, so I thought I saw the reflections on it, and I thought it was water. Something had spilled, and I saw it was spiders crawling. The moonlight hitting them.
Oh my God.
Dude, I jumped out of my car. It was the worst.
I don't know if it was an AIDS thing. I have to ask my dad about it. He had this like glass thing, and it was a tarantula, like frozen in glass.
Oh, that used to be so popular. Scorpions, tarantulas, snakes.
So your dad smokes pot.
It must be. I have to ask him.
They would sell those in like Arizona and New Mexico.
And it was so crystal clear, and you could see the thing has like hair and like eyes, and it's just like up close and personal, and you know it's frozen glass. But as a kid, you're like,
How 1980s/1990s head shop is that?
I know.
Hey, actually, there's a company. It's like Oddities and something, and you can get a box once a month. You can get like a subscription, and like Lindsley got one with like a big giant. I don't know what's under the glass.
Your
Same
daughter,
thing.
Lindsley.
Yeah. And then she got this one where it's owl poop.
Oh.
And you go through it. And when you go through it, you find all these little bones. Yeah.
Mice bones.
Yeah. So, and there was all kinds of things in that box. She had a really good time with it.
That's kind of cool.
Beckett's not into it.
it's a little rough.
Finding animal bones is kind of creepy, but it's kind of cool.
Back in the day, I remember when I first got on the show, I was always doing stunts, going out in the public, and sometimes I'd have to go in the woods and do some weird shit. I remember me and Marianne, our old producer, the old Denny's, we found a box of bones out in the woods, and we had them tested, and they were animal. But it looked so creepy being out in the woods. Things to find in a box.
There's a lot of things that make that creepy, right? A box of bones, even if it's animal bones, somebody's still collecting those.
Yeah.
I thought the same thing, man. I thought it was weird.
Huh.
Yeah.
That would creep me out. If you found a box or a jar of teeth, that would creep me out too.
There's just certain things that you find in the woods that make you feel automatically uneasy.
Yeah.
A bone, an axe, severed finger. All right.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Let's get into some Ask Vicky. Vicky is our awesome psychic medium. She is a ghost.
Paranormal investigator.
Boom.
Hunter. Hunter makes it sound.
Official.
Watch it. I haven't graded you yet this week.
That's right.
so
That's right.
Better watch it,
Watch
mister.
what you call me.
I'm hoping for the good mood, being that you're off work now.
Here's our first question for Vicky. I have 2 dogs and 1 cat. Sometimes my one dog seems to be looking at something in the corner. My other dog and cat don't react. Is my one dog just going senile? He's 5 years old, or does he really see something the other animals don't? Thank you. Love the podcast.
I have had a plethora of animals through my time, and I can tell you that some animals are way more in tune than others. Not every single animal that walks on the planet has a sixth sense. You have ones that are completely oblivious. My German Shepherd, she could get slapped by a demon and she would not notice it at all. Neither one of my cats respond to anything, but I had a cat when I lived with my mom who literally tracked something through the entire house one night. And, we took some pictures and had some anomalies there. And, but the other cat just sat there and watched the one cat that was watching whatever the spirit. So, 5 years old isn't that old, so I don't think the dog is senile. But definitely you can have some animals that are way more sensitive than others.
There are reports even with UFO sightings where all of a sudden a dog will just start looking at something and no one, the owner's going, all right, what's my dog's acting weird. And then all of a sudden, boom, a UFO appears. It's as if the dog knew before anybody could see it. And you see it in nature with animals, just if something's in the atmosphere, tsunami, volcano, animals have this sense that humans don't have, that they kind of you start seeing a bunch of animals run in a herd together like they're trying to get the fuck out of here, you might want to take cover.
Totally. I always say that in like scary movies, like, I don't know how much truth to it, but in scary movies, if the cat or the dog gets out of there, I was like, get out of there too. Why wouldn't you follow what the dog's doing? Yeah. They're like the smartest. Instead of the human characters, let me look around this corner.
Unless it's Halloween 1, Becket. The dog gets it. Curtains for the dog, Michael Myers.
Oh, and it was a German Shepherd too.
He got hungry.
That was a big thing in the 70s and 80s.
What's that? British detectives?
Yeah, that was really big. Although you could argue, you had Inspector Clouseau. He was French detective. You wonder if detectives were big.
Are you saying just killing animals?
Yeah, I think animals
was.
died a lot more in movies back in the day. Now, present day, I don't think they take the risks if they don't have to.
I don't know, man. When I went to Marley and Me,
so I think that was one of the last examples where they decided we're not doing this no more.
F that movie.
That's before I was even a dog person, and I think they released it during Christmas time, like a holiday. Yeah. I was watching it with an ex-girlfriend, and I remember seeing the ending and just hearing people quivering, tearing. It was awful. It was such a bad experience.
Yeah. Oh,
and then the drive home was just kind of silent.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It was a little rough.
Yeah, F that movie. F that movie. It's the worst.
Yeah,
movie
fuck
ever.
that movie, and fuck Pay It Forward.
Right?
Haley Joel.
Because it takes such a random turn in the last 30 minutes.
I don't like such heavy endings, but I digress.
It was such a bait and switch because you're like, oh, Owen Wilson, story out of Fort Lauderdale, puppy. This will be a great movie, and then it's like writers sat around a round table for writing the script for the end of that movie, and they were like, how can we twist the knife with the audience? And they just, the kid reading the letter by the tree, and the whole thing. It was over the top.
There was a movie back in the day, and I know you guys know it, Never Ending Story.
Oh, yeah.
And there's a part where
it's tragic.
one of the animals dies in that
The
movie.
horse falls in the quicksand.
And as a kid, I remember watching that and taking it pretty hard because the kid in the movie takes it hard.
Atreyu, he's like, no, and they're yelling, and the horse gets sunk in the quicksand.
I don't do animal shit like that. I can't watch it. I really am a pussy. If the one where the lamb is stuck in the wire fence and the lamb makes it.
Yeah.
But man, it's
a
like
viral video.
It's a minute and a half. Like, get the lamb out, please.
Yeah.
Fast forward. I can't watch it.
It's shepherds going through and clearing the fence of lambs that get stuck in the fence.
I can't. I'm too soft, man. It makes me feel very sad. All right, question number 2. This question is for Vicky. What is the weirdest thing you've ever seen during a psychic reading?
During a reading.
Was it?
Well, I've seen elementals during psychic readings, like especially if I pick up on there's like some kind of activity or there's something attached. I've seen ones that literally look like trees that come to life. I've seen ones that are dripping things. But the thing that awed me the most is it's only happened once, but I saw what I think was an angel. And
Becket?
But there's no other way to describe it. Just when I saw it, I just automatically said angel.
So on the hierarchy, would angels be the top, demons be the lowest, and then there's a bunch of stuff in between?
I don't really like to give them a hierarchy, but I would say angels are extremely rare to be able to see. So I was like really, blessed, no pun intended, that I actually saw what I think was an angel. I mean, demons, I see them dime a dozen.
Would you be disappointed if you found out it was a descendant of Chris Angel, one of his relatives?
Any mind for each other?
Any mind?
I don't know. I liked Chris Angel back in the day, so I wouldn't be too disappointed.
True. Or here's my confession. I never watched it before. I've been watching so much cringy Chris Angel videos that is.
Oh, it's amazing.
They're
Is it amazing?
so fake, and it's the worst editing.
There's one at a pool that's so fake.
And then I had to Google it, of course. And then there's all these videos out showing him faking his shit. It's pretty amazing. Although I think he did make Shaquille O'Neal float. I'm kidding. That's the fakest one of them all.
That's so fake.
My grandparents used to watch a show. Was it Stairway to Heaven or something like
No,
that? With James,
Highway to Heaven.
with James London or something like
Highway to
Michael
Heaven.
Landon.
Michael Landon.
That was me and my Aunt Anne's show.
Yeah, we
loved that show. We would watch it together.
I
as a
used to
little
watch
kid.
it with my grandma all the time.
Yeah, that was a magical show,
Yeah,
man. You'd watch that show. I remember watching that show at the end, and you'd go, huh. Makes you think a little bit. Question number 3 for Vicky. If you are so psychic, why don't you just pick the lottery numbers and get rich? Why don't you invest in the stock market? Guess your gift can't be that great.
Oh, is this a relative of the one from last week?
I don't know. People coming for Vicky. Well, when you're on top of the hill, Vicky,
Yeah.
they come for you.
My answer to that is I don't think gifts should be to benefit yourself. So if I were to be able to get the lottery numbers, I would be benefiting myself. And I just don't think that that's what it's for. I think it's to help other people, not help yourself to some money.
It's interesting you bring that up. It is an episode on the Twilight Zone. Psychic, trying to pick out numbers, doing it for themselves.
What if you were haunted by
It backfires.
a gambling ghost and he gave you the numbers? That'd be kind of cool.
Come on, man. Horse number 3.
Yeah,
I'm telling you, horse number
exactly.
3 is going to come in, baby.
That's different.
I would so be down with that ghost. Why can't my ghost do
If the
that?
horse doesn't pay out, he throws the newspaper on the floor.
I do, if you don't mind, and you don't have to spend so much time on it, because even I'm a little bit confused. I got a lot of feedback on our conversations last week about elementals. When you describe something like an elemental, most people think you're describing, I know monster is kind of a weird term, but a creature that's not human, like, I don't know.
Well, they're not. They're not human.
So that would make it sound like a monster or a creature to people. And is that what it is? If it's not, then what the shit is it? Because there's still a lot of confusion on what an elemental is.
In my own definition and experience, I would classify them. First of all, they've never been human. They've never walked the earth in human form. So they're in the category of like an angel and a demon because they were never human. Neither one of those were ever human. So neither are elementals. They're kind of like a human type animal that is part of the earth. I don't know any other way to describe it.
Cave people?
No, they're in their own category. That's why it's so hard to explain. But it's almost like they have an animal-like quality to them, yet a persona like a person at the same time. They are of this earth. Like they are protectors of this earth. They respect the earth. And so that's why hundreds of years ago, all these different cultures, they respected them and they acknowledged them. Still in some countries, they put out little saucers of milk for them because they respect them. Now, when they stopped getting respect, that's when they started to turn into physically looking like some of these things that I've seen that are pretty scary. And they do try to bluff and try to make me scared of them or try to make themselves look like a demon type thing. And then I'm like, okay, show me what you really look like.
Elementals, if you're listening, we respect you here. We see and hear you.
I've actually on investigations, I've come across elementals and I have given them treats. Like one time I had a bracelet that somebody had made for me and they like shiny things a lot of times. I took the bracelet off and I hung it in one of the trees so that they could have it. It was a sacrifice. If you build a house and in the process of building that house, you have wiped out all the vegetation, all the trees, all the natural vegetation. I always tell people, listen, you need to go out and you need to tell them that you're sorry and you need to figure out what you need to plant to replace what you got rid of. Because they respect the earth.
So I want to get all kinds of elemental up in here, but I want the respect. I'm not here to disrespect them, Denny.
Right.
That's not what this is about. But I just want elementals just knowing this is the place where you can come and forget about your worries for the day.
Well, it's actually easy. Like, I have a relationship with elementals because I came across them. And when I was able to see them and to acknowledge them and recognize them, and I actually gave them that little offering, it's kind of like they have a network that's like, okay, you can talk to Vicky. It's cool. And I've told this story maybe before, but I was on an investigation. It was right after my mom died, which tomorrow, by the way, is the anniversary of my mom's passing. And I was at this investigation maybe a month after she passed, and they were doing a cleansing inside the house. I was outside by myself, and all of a sudden I realized I was surrounded by elementals. And one of them came up and he put his little hand on my arm, and he said to me, he goes, everything's going to be okay. And when he said that, I knew he was talking about my mom's passing and the situation, because my sister was, contesting the will and all that kind of stuff. And I knew that that's what he was talking about. So that network of elementals came out to support me that night. People can go ahead and call me crazy or whatever. That's fine.
Come on. Patrick crazy.
But I felt better. Like, it was reassuring. And once if you were to make a relationship, they will be all over this place.
I mean, don't I already kind of have them here anyway?
You need to be able to actually see and communicate and give them something, and then you're going to have even more.
Can we please, after the podcast, really quick, go through my pantry and let's get some snacks? Let me go out and offer some.
They want shiny things.
They like shiny things, or they like natural things, like if you were to plant them a tree or do something like that.
They want you to work for it, Bird.
You should plant.
They don't want you just to come outside and be like, yo.
Get Daddy Warbucks here. Get some money, elemental. Shake your ass.
Buy them.
You should plant a offering in the dinosaur garden.
Becket, I mean, it's already.
Get one of those, those shiny crystal ball-like things that people put in their garden.
Yes.
Get one of those.
How about this? All right, let's make a deal. Let's make a weird and whatever pact. Let's all have an elemental ceremony here where we say, thank you, we're sorry, we're planting this.
Right.
At Vicky's, she's vouching for me. And I'm here with respect and love. And we want to get Club Elemental up in here. It's kind of like Cheers. Kids, Google Cheers if you don't know.
Telling you, if you get that, we actually sit down and do that, they're going to be attracted to here, and then you'll be able to see them.
I kind of already see shit. I
guess you get to put a name to a face.
I'll just see someone. Yeah, maybe we'll be on first name basis.
Do you have any Captain Planet figurines?
I have some Captain Morgan.
Were you a Planeteer?
Oh, I love Captain Planet.
So where do I go with the segue?
Well, that might be my offering for the garden.
Oh, there you go.
Something, yeah, because a
Captain
lot
Planet.
of it
He's
is
our
something
hero.
that means something to you too.
Yeah.
Like they know that you're sacrificing something.
And he wants to take pollution down to zero.
I apologize, Beck. That's a great idea. I'm Captain Dickface, and that's on me. And elementals, that's not the kind of energy I want.
Damn, that's not how you get elementals right there.
If you really meant it, you'd put one of your package stuff things.
I would totally do it. I would.
Take your most expensive
Yeah, but
GI
I don't
Joes.
think that at that point is that really nature. If I'm burying
plastic in the ground.
a fucking
Plastic.
Screw you.
Millennium Falcon in my yard.
But you have to find something that it's a sacrifice for you to give it up. Like the bracelet, my friend had handmade that.
Okay.
So it was a sacrifice for me to give that bracelet that night. But I knew that I wanted to give them something that showed that I was grateful that I saw them for the first time.
What about Chewy, my dog's Chewy's collar? It's a sacrifice. I love wearing it anytime I do a live event. I feel like the elementals know I'm being serious.
Doesn't look like Vicky's accepting that.
Why is that bad?
It might be
Not-
more
I-
sentimentally important to you.
Do you want a plant? Is that what we're doing?
Well, it's not.
Maybe I'm just not. Maybe,
it's
do
not
I even know
about-
how to elemental?
I don't think
It's
you
not
get
a-
elementals,
yeah.
bro.
I would be more concerned about you. I don't want it to be that much of a sacrifice.
Well, I want them to know I'm here to fucking play. Yeah, no, but I think it's. We'll talk.
Yeah, we'll talk.
It's a very, very cool topic. I wanted to go deeper only because I got so much feedback on it. People going, well, isn't she just talking about monsters? I'm like, I don't
In my mind, I was thinking of that movie Lord of the Rings with the walking trees.
The
right?
Ents.
Oh, yeah, like
Denny's.
Don't be hasty.
like they were kind of personified, but they were trees, right?
Yeah, they're
and
wise.
and they got pissed and kind of came together. And
Oh man, I love trees. So a beautiful tree can instantly make me feel peaceful. It's odd how it does that.
so
You have a little road by where you live at, Denny's, and I deliberately go the long way because there's a little stretch of trees that are so pretty. And no matter what time of day, the way the sun hits them, they almost kind of dance a little bit.
Oh, there's a road in Stewart as well that goes to Okeechobee, and that is covered. I think a lot of people go there, ride their motorcycles and such, but it has the overhanging trees over the road. It's so nice.
It's beautiful. It really, you feel like that would be if heaven does exist.
The only time
you
it
walk in
sucks
there and
is if you forget your sunglasses and the sun's just setting
Yeah.
and it's going in between the trees, so it's like strobe lighting in your face.
Right.
That's the
Man,
only time.
this feels like heaven, although I'm squinting a lot. Am I sure this is heaven?
So I have a close friend. She was going through a tough time, and Vicky was sweet enough to give her a reading. And Vicky, one of her advice was to hug a tree. And
No, put it back against a tree. It's not
put
a
her
hug
back
tree.
put her back against a tree, and I believe barefoot. And she doesn't
Yes.
like barefoot in the grass. And Vicky's like, trust me. So she went out and she told me, she goes, oh my gosh, it made such a huge difference. And she just did that recommendation of Vicky with. So it's just the physical touch with your back on the tree.
Yeah, it has something to do. I think it has something to do with your spine making connection, and barefoot because especially if it's a tree where you can actually put your feet on the roots. Sometimes how they'll come up, it just makes it so much better for grounding. And that tree, especially an older one, it is built to take all of our crap.
Right.
Like it's here to try to heal us. But people just don't take advantage. And I give that advice to a lot of people. And anybody who has followed it has noticed a big difference.
So I agree with you. I think I love getting down and connected with nature, especially
Barefoot's good.
barefoot. But let me push back as a naysayer. It's not how I believe, but this is what the naysayer would say. Oh, Vicky, it's the placebo effect. You're going in there wanting a change. You're there feeling a change because you're looking for the change. For example, Beckett's example of his friend, she wanted this big moment, so she looked for that moment.
I would make a case she needed that moment, right? Like she was going through a tough time. So she was probably, I think she's pretty open-minded anyways to that kind of stuff, but I think that she was way more open-minded because she was hungry for something that was going to make her feel better. She had tried a lot of stuff before she spoke to Vicky, and that, to her account, really helped.
The other thing too is sometimes just talking to somebody and letting someone just listen, and and if you ask them for advice and they give you some really sound advice, it can make the world of difference in someone's life completely. And I think that's what it happened to your friend. That whole moment sounds like it probably made her feel a lot better, and she was on more of the upswing after.
We're not so much different than elementals, I don't think. We just like to be acknowledged and recognized.
He just brought it back.
You wonder if, what if elementals were humans before humans were humans, pre-human? They were what dominated the planet, and then it's the spirits left over from those creatures.
I like where you're going.
I'm just saying, you think about how many things could have came before us.
We like a curious Denny's believing in the weird. That's very good, Denny's. With that said, I think it might be time for some
Denny's Random Facts.
Our sweet Denny's does a great job. He's a hunter, right? No, you're a gatherer.
A gatherer.
That's right. That's right.
I'll hunt on occasion.
He's
It's
a
more
fact-
nuts and berries.
He's a factoid gatherer, and he does a great job. He really gathers. Vicky, our educator, she grades him. If she loves the factoid, she gives him an A. If she doesn't like it, she's been known to give the F, throw the D, give the C. Denny's, the floor is the.
All right. We've all heard of the Sharknado, the fictional tornado with sharks, but there's actually a real-life Sharkcano. It is an underground volcano where they found 2 species of sharks that can live within an active crater. Scientists are baffled by this, and they assume maybe they've mutated over the years to survive in such acidic environments. But divers can't investigate it because currently we don't have the technology to go into that environment at all ourselves, so we can't explore it any further. But there's a new species, or 2 new species of sharks that live within lava-infested waters.
Holy shit!
Sharkcano.
Is Ian Zierick part of this?
We'll get it. We'll sign him.
Yeah, I don't think it's that hard to sign.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
He's also kind of a dick. Vicky, what do you think?
A B.
Wow, not a big fan of the shark shit.
For bluefin shark.
Yeah.
All right.
The shark. Let's see here. Did you know that if you wanted and you were worried about it, since the 1980s, they have offered alien abduction insurance. You can get insured for up to $500,000, up to $1 million in policies, and currently 50,000 policies have been sold, mainly to people in the U.S. and England.
That's pretty insane.
I think it started off as a legitimate thing, and as far as I've read, I mean, funny enough, there's a Hong Kong insurance company that fights that Hong Kong's one of the most likely places to have abductions. It's just weird. It says they're hardworking. There's a whole bunch of reasons, but Hong Kong, they feel like, is the number one place to have the insurance. They just started that insurance policy for Hong Kong.
I don't know if that necessarily means that that's the most sightings, but they may believe it the most.
I think that's what it is. They think that they are the most likely place to have alien abductions because of how their society runs.
I don't understand how abduction insurance would work. How would you
Yeah.
ever collect?
So that's the tricky part. You have to provide proof that you've been abducted, and they say they'll take it through photo evidence, but then they have to evaluate it and decide whether they're going to insure you on it, which is the hilarity of this entire thing.
There is a story where a guy went to, and I want to say he was even former military. He went to the doctors. They did a X-ray, and there was a chip in his arm, legit chip. They go, "What is this? There's a foreign object in your body." So, long story short, he was living with this fear, doing all these tests, and all these doctors are confirming he had a chip in his arm. And then one night he woke up and was a little groggy. Went back to the doctors, and it was gone. And you wonder,
Was there any evidence of it being cut out, removed?
it was as if it was never no scar or nothing.
Damn.
I know.
Just like K-Pax.
It just like K-Pax.
You can't get insurance companies to pay on your roof that was hit by a hurricane that everyone knew about, and you have pictures, let alone like
Dude,
try
I
to
had
prove.
I had a water leak, and insurance refused to cover it
Yeah,
because they said I could have prevented it.
such a racket.
I go, it's in my damn wall. How would I prevent that?
Alien chips in the arm. I'm just saying. We got proof things.
That's why it's like, why would you buy it? They've been offering it since the 80s. It's like, there's no way of proving they've been abducted.
Someone's making a lot of money.
They
here.
are for no reason.
How bad do I want alien insurance, though? Yeah,
You can get it.
I got alien insurance.
I
guys.
think
better-
it's
it's probably cheap.
1995.
Yeah, it's gotta be cheap.
It's super cheap.
How much is it?
1995 extra on to whatever tacked onto your
It's
policy.
cheap because they look at it as a donation.
But it's cool
Yeah,
too.
'cause it's-
If they give you a cool card,
So
That'd be
that's
worth
what
it.
you're
If you-
paying it for.
You can
yeah.
pay to have a certificate sent to you and say that you're alien abducted.
Yeah.
Well, that's
it's
what
worth it.
that's what the business is.
Yeah.
It's a novelty thing for
Yeah.
fuck faces like me.
It really has become that. I think originally it started off legitimate and it's kind of become novelty over time.
Vicky, what are your thoughts?
That was interesting. I'll give it an A.
Okay, honor roll is in sight.
I'm going to keep it on the space theme for the next one. I just was wondering, they always say originally the goal was to get to space, get people to space, go around the moon, come back, report. And then they kind of started sending vessels. And you wonder, is it because it can stay out there later? It doesn't need somebody to man it. And I looked at the cost of a spacesuit. That's one of the main reasons they don't send people to space,
Well-
because the cost of a spacesuit is $18 million.
Yeah, and probably the insurance for the humans.
The alien abduction insurance.
Speaker one blown.
I wasn't ready for it.
Don't send the emails. We know it's loud.
Yes.
We're working on Becket. Laughing off the microphone.
The amount of technology that goes into it, it's over 5,000 hours to make it. It weighs 110 pounds and it has 11 layers of material. One of the problems they were having is when they send people into space, the liquids in their bodies would bubble. So they were trying to stop that. That's why it cost $18 million to make one of these. So if they have to send 4 people into space,
By the
so
way,
they're just like, yo, send computers. We're
By-
sending space.
By the way, they just yesterday sent 2 people into space. I watched a live docking at the International Space Station today. We're coming right in. It was amazing.
They dropped that rocket thing into the ocean too.
Yeah,
It was cool.
Oh, and SpaceX, yeah. Well, this
Yeah.
is Boeing, so now NASA has 2 private carriers. Boeing did it, believe it or not, and then SpaceX did their Starship, the one that's ultimately supposed to take people to Mars, and that had successful entry and it had a little bit of a hairy re-entry, but it came back down. So they're getting closer and closer.
Somebody's got a space boner. Beckett's showing us his O space.
So send both them cats up there. It cost almost $40 million for us.
They actually probably would send cats up there.
Yeah.
Like real cats.
They would.
Well, that was the first living thing in space, right? Well,
Dog,
maybe not.
right?
The Sputnik, right?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was
yeah.
a dog.
It was so sad. Another sad
Then-
thing. I learned about that in school.
Oh,
This
no.
Chimpanzees.
dog just floats away, and I was like, "That's horrible."
When you really think about that, like, what the fuck? That poor dog.
That's horrible.
Man. Maybe that dog was going, holy shit, I'm in space. This is
Definitely not.
amazing. Definitely not.
No, the dog's
way.
like,
Why?
yeah, it's pretty messed up.
It hurts my heart.
I'm a good boy.
I don't think
What did I do?
I don't think we cared about animals back then,
No.
man. We tested makeup on pesticides, poison, everything you can imagine on animals for so long until people just got fed up with it.
I kind of say we didn't really care about animals or kids up until about 1995. Smoking in the car with the kids.
kinda agree with that.
Shut up, kid.
No, that's fair.
The teachers were spanking and slapping kids. It was crazy.
Well,
out
the
there
fact
days.
that if the teacher found you annoying or you said something dumb, they'd put you in the corner publicly with a hat on, and you'd have to sit there the rest of class.
The dunce cap. Oh yeah, that would fly today.
That's what
Oh,
I'm
my
saying. The practices were archaic.
The dunce cap. Tell you what though, I bet that motherfucker didn't act up after.
I think it really straightened up a lot of people's.
Yeah, I think it worked.
What, public humiliation works?
You get humiliated a couple times, you're gonna stop, guaranteed.
Yeah.
What an awful punishment. My sister tells me a story. My oldest sister, when she was in, I think, the second grade, one of the students had peed her pants, and it was a big thing. Everybody in the classroom knew, and the teacher was so annoyed that the kid peed her pants.
Really?
Made her get up and clean up the pee with the trash from the trash can in front of the whole classroom.
Oh, that's horrible.
1982, dog.
Dude, I got stung by a bee in class. Somebody left the door open and a bee came in. We're in the middle of a test and I get stung and I start making a noise and the teacher told me to be quiet during the test. So I was sitting there, I'm like, just trying to keep it quiet so I don't get yelled at.
I mean, I hope you. What did you get? What did you get on the test? I hope it was.
I can't even remember
I
because
hope
I'm
it
in
was
so
a-
much pain.
I hope it was a B.
You gotta be.
Oh, good. That's good. That's what you get paid for right there.
Give it up, Denny. You're cooking. You're just now cooking.
All right. Well, so somebody said the phrase to me, pulling someone's leg, you pulling my leg, you know, and I just was wondering what the heck that came from. So I looked it up, and the term pulling somebody's leg comes from when sailors used to be on ships, and it was their turn to go up to the nest and to look. They would come down and they pull on your leg. That means you have to get up, go climb up the thing. Well, so the term comes from sometimes if they got new recruits or young sailors on the ship, they'd mess with them by pulling on their legs, so they would just mechanically wake up and climb up into the crow's nest. And the guy up there would be like, "What are you doing up here?" He's like, "It's my shift." And then they would come back down and oh ha ha and go back to bed. So the term pulling someone's leg comes from when they would play a joke on them, pretending like they'd have to climb all the way up.
There's some bored guys.
Oh,
Oh, dude, sitting in the ocean all the time.
it's funny because I can sense some bored women.
Well, so that led me down
Vicky, I'm sorry.
a road of looking up a bunch of different
He's trying to save it. Just let
phrases.
him-
I pulled,
He is.
yeah, let him try.
He's drowning. Pun intended.
so that led
Let's
me
take
down
it
a
to work.
road of pulling a bunch of different phrases, like can't hold a candle to. What could that phrase mean? And that refers to in the olden days, especially if you're indoors and there's no electricity. Think about how dark places were. It was often a lot of people who worked in projects and stuff, you'd have to have an apprentice, and that's how the trade would get passed on. And holding a candle to would be walking behind their master holding the candle so they could continue their research. So when somebody referred to you as not being able to hold a candle to somebody, meaning that you aren't even good enough to hold a candle for a master in the trade or whatever.
Makes sense.
I thought that was kind of a cool one. Also, I looked up honeymoon. Why the heck they call it a honeymoon?
I like this, Denny.
And
you got caught in that honey trap.
yeah,
You got caught in a honeymoon.
honeymoon's kind of cool because when it's an old tradition that when people get married, brides' fathers would give the groom all the mead that they'd want because they wanted children and they wanted reproducing. So it actually stands for honey month was the original phrase because of the lunar calendar. It was a honey month, and then the honeymoon referred to the first night of the honey month, which they would drink mead and party essentially to try to
See,
have
drink meat.
Mead.
Oh.
Mead is a honey-based alcoholic beverage, kind of like a honey wine. So that's why they would call it the honey month, the honeymoon.
Say honey wine one more time and make it real slow.
It'd be a nice honey wine.
And make it British.
It'd be a nice honey wine into it. But yeah, they would drink it for the entire month. It would be a celebration of fertility and good luck.
Wow, Vicky, you look, I don't know, disgusted.
I got just a couple more here.
He's still trying. He's still trying.
Okay,
Just wait. Just wait.
I like the resilience, kid.
All right, giving the cold shoulder. You would think it obviously meant that it was, so we know the phrase, if you're giving the cold shoulder, you don't really want to talk to somebody, you kind of feel like put off by them. But the phrase comes, and it's not even supposed to be rude. Originally, it was an act of politeness. But during medieval times in England, when everyone was done feasting, the host would give guests a piece of cold meat from the shoulder or the beef shank or the pork shank as a way of showing everyone it's time to go. The meat has cooled enough for everybody to leave. The party's over.
Get the fuck out of my house.
Basically,
or my
you don't have to
castle.
go home, but you can stay here.
I love that one, but
This one,
He's still trying.
I thought this one I thought maybe Becket had come across in his horsely travels, but getting someone's goat, that phrase, during horse races, some of the horses would get anxious, and some of the horse owners would keep goats in the stalls with them as companions to calm them down. And on occasion, especially during big races, rival teams would sometimes steal the goats to cause the horses to be anxious and to likely lose the race. That's what it is, to get someone's goat.
I mean, Beckett, you know about horses.
Yeah, so they're pack animals like humans, right? So depending on the horse's personality, sometimes they get real lonely and depressed. So sometimes they'll put a donkey or a goat, whatever, keeps the horse company, and the horse you can actually tell the difference in the horse's personality and mood.
Oh, that makes me love horses so
I never
much
knew they
more.
kept companions with them.
And they get lonely?
They get lonely, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
well, that's why such a long face.
Yeah.
This just opened up the window for a lot of puns, by the way.
Sorry.
I'll accept that responsibility.
I apologize.
I think you guys have been hanging out with me too long.
And final one for you guys. Buttering up somebody. What would you think? Buttering up somebody, obviously, is to
Bedroom stuff.
flatter lavishly. Yeah, yeah, that too.
Duck butter.
But the term comes from ancient Hindu traditions where they used to throw balls of butter at the statues or gods in order to get favors from them. So then to say you were getting buttered up, it was a way of asking for a favor. There's a tradition of theirs to throw butter balls at their god statues.
So is this still the same one fact?
I think you're trying to butter her up.
Nice. Here, give me some butter.
Oh,
All right. Well, there are a few that saved it overall, so I'm going to go with a B plus.
Ooh.
Okay. I
butter.
like the meat
Butter
shank thing,
plus.
so
I would give you an A just on resilience alone, kid.
I fought through. I pulled a bunch of the.
it was such an obvious effort, though. I like it to be more effortless.
You got the high of the tiger, kid.
I do. That is definitely
Well,
true.
great job, Denny's. That was awesome. We got a couple more segments to get to. I want to get Tech It with Beckett. I know you've got a prop, little show and tell.
Yeah, so I know the good people liked my prop when I was doing the jazzercise. So my girlfriend got me into this, and apparently it's all the rage. It's pretty ridiculous looking, so I'll go ahead and show the people.
Show off the camera, please.
So right here, it's a mask. So
Oh wow, it's like some
That's eyes wide shut.
yeah,
right?
That's like
it's kind of
some
kinky, right?
It's very kinky.
Yeah.
Vanilla Sky.
So it is dermatologist recommended, FDA approved for whatever that's worth. And what it has is both red light and blue light, or it can do a mixture of the two. The red light actually improves collagen production, so it actually decreases wrinkles. Let me go ahead and put this on.
Yeah, let's see what Beckett looks like. Whoa.
Oh wow, you look
Wait
great.
for it.
Oh, whoa.
Pretty
You
cool,
look
right?
like a fucking superhero.
Cool, right?
Wow, yeah.
That's so cool.
So you do consistency is the key. So you do 3 minutes of red, 3 minutes of blue. Now the red, like I said, is collagen production, and then the blue kills bacteria that forms acne. So I've been doing this for about a week now.
You
I
look
was gonna say
you look great.
You have
That's
like a
kinda cool, right?
dewiness to your skin. I almost pointed that out, and I
I seem
didn't.
younger, right?
At heart and in hair.
My girlfriend's younger than me, so I felt like it would be nice to keep us on par.
That now you're getting to a point where you're making Vicky feel very uncomfortable.
And when you
But-
laugh, your expression doesn't change because of that
There you
mask.
go. Now you got blue.
So if you're just listening to the audio, Beckett's got a very eyes wide shut type mask on. It lights up his face. It's you got to check it out. It's how much does something like that cost?
So it ranges anywhere from probably like the cheaper ones, 150 to 490.
Now let me ask you this:
Cheaper than Botox.
The 200 compared to the 500 one, is it really that much of a difference? Is that really kind of like when we and Denny's talk about technology or
Yeah,
equipment?
is there a big difference? Is the lasers better?
So listen, it got great reviews. I asked AI about it. AI was positive about it. And I will give an update in about 4 weeks from now when I'm consistent, and I'll give you my own
All right.
review.
And
But
that one is the what price range you have on right now?
this is in the 4 honeys.
Oh,
You
want
went for the top dog.
It's fucking Becket, dog.
Damn, spare
pro-
no
He
excuse.
didn't
probably-
think he had the Amazon brand one, did
Yeah,
you?
he probably went to Peru one afternoon, bought it, came back.
This is by Dr. Dennis Gross.
Well, that was a great, Tech It with Becket, very good.
Yeah, I
I
love
loved
that
it.
thing. That
I
thing's
do.
awesome.
I'll
I
give you guys an
actually do
update.
like it. Well, it makes China look young, and all that cosmetic
Cool,
shit
right?
just kind of
Oh, you look
easy.
so mysterious.
This is the mix light.
Vicky, let me ask you this.
So is that collagen and it's doing something else?
It's killing bacteria for acne, and it's stimulating collagen,
Oh,
which
wow.
reduces your wrinkles and everything.
Now let me ask
Fine
you this,
lines.
Vicky. If you met a guy, amazing dancer, he is got the gift of gab, very
Great
kind,
laugh, good jokes.
great laugh, great jokes. He's got a great heart, great in bed, but he never could take off that mask. You had to see that with that Becket hair though.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of pops over the top.
I mean,
nicely.
I think there are some people that would still date you.
Totally.
Just like that. I might be one of them. Fuck.
I think it actually kind of makes people
kinda
look better.
I think it looks cool, man.
Yeah, it looks real cool.
I don't know if I'd hate it. Very good. Very good.
If it whitened your teeth at the same time, I think it'd be amazing.
Yeah.
Oh, you know that's going to be next.
Totally.
The whole thing.
You're gonna look like the Darth Vader egg.
They'll have arms that can massage your shoulders and make them more youthful. Legs that come down, attach them to your private.
So they make these for whole body. Like they
Oh,
have a
I
whole,
bet.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Oh, we know where you're going back here. Well, great job in your segment, Tech It with Becket. Let's get a Joe Ponton on the microphone now. Joe Ponton is our man on the street. He's a friend of the show, and he's going through some health issues, and you're going through a health issue that I am so afraid to get. Anytime I have a weird anything, I go, yep, it's the big one. It's finally happening. What did you have to go through this week?
So currently still involved in this situation, but this afternoon at Palms West Hospital, which is one of my hospitals that I'm at, I was talking to case managers. All of a sudden I dropped to my knees because I have a kidney stone that started to move.
Oh, kidney stones, man.
It's a Rolling Stone.
It's my 7th one.
7th one? What were you doing stats here? Is that throughout your career?
The last 14 years.
Wow, that is one per every other year.
I had 3 at once was my first.
Oh my god.
So that was your MVP season.
Yeah, that was 2009, Mother's Day, 2009. I'll never obviously forget that. But, yeah,
No.
never.
So let me ask you this. How awful is the pain? Out of anything you've ever gone through, is it your worst pain?
So I can describe it as someone standing on your back, stabbing you in the back with a butcher's knife or a chef's knife, something like that. It's pretty fucking awful.
Let me ask you this. How long does, when you have that symptom, what you're talking about, that stabbing in the back, how long can that go on to where is that basically kind of the stone marinating and just waiting to come out of your urethra Franklin?
It's when it's moving. If it's not moving, I've had a stone that's been stationary for a while. I've had a few CAT scans that show that it hasn't moved. But when it moves and it goes down to the old urethra Franklin, it's pretty fucking unbearable.
Becky.
I was sweating. Even at the start of the show, I had just peed before we started the show.
I heard
Sorry,
you.
buddy.
I heard you grunting. I'm like, I'm trying to get a whiskey. I hear Ponton. Oh!
I had drank so much water, cranberry juice. They were going to IV me at the hospital. I'm like, I got to get home.
How do you feel?
Like I was shot at and missed and shit at and hit.
Why are you here?
I got a great story.
Well, okay, so
No, I'm just joking. When it's not moving, I'm okay. I mean, honestly, it feels like you've been hit in the back with a bat.
Yeah.
When Becket, after he passed his one, I can guarantee it, the next day, you just feel like you're bruised everywhere, and it just feels like you've been hit, like beaten by somebody.
I can corroborate this.
You've had a kidney stone.
Oh my gosh! So my story is I thought one of the dogs had jumped on my family jewels because it kind of had this like resonating pain like down between the legs and in my lower back.
Oh my God, I have a kidney stone.
And I was like, oh man, and
butthole puckers.
And I woke up the next morning. Literally rolling in the bed moaning, and I was like, oh my gosh. So my stepdad's a doctor. I got in the hot bathtub, because I think like Epsom salt hot baths like cure everything.
And then he loofah'd your back.
So I called my stepdad, and the symptoms I was describing to him, he was afraid I might have pancreatitis. I had never had a kidney stone, and I was like, listen, I'm in pain. And I'm one of those people, I never throw up. Even when I should have thrown up, I never throw up. And I started throwing up in pain. And you're talking about a guy, yeah.
Denny's kid.
He's hurting. He's in so much pain.
If you hear audible Uggs, it's Denny's in the background, and he literally cannot hear this stuff. He has I do too.
And I played college lacrosse where I got metal sticks like wrapped around my rib cage like on the regular and didn't think twice about it. So I was driven to the hospital. I literally in the passenger seat had my feet pushed on the floorboard with my back arched, yelling. I completely sweat through at this point I still don't know what it was, and I had that pain now lower, which scared the hell out of me. I thought I was dying. I was like, well, Becket, you had a good run, you know.
It's all over but the crying.
And I went to Good Sam ER. I was pacing the waiting room. They're trying to like take my temperature and my blood pressure. I was like, listen, I need pain management.
Yeah.
And they finally, it's a Sunday. I had a female nurse and a female ultrasound tech ultrasounding my testicles, and I was like, well, this isn't the Sunday that I planned. And they scanned and did all this stuff, and they're like, oh, you have a kidney stone. I was like, oh my God, thank God.
Awful.
So I started talking to my friends, and I didn't realize how big of a problem this was. One of my friends is female, and she has 3 kids. She said she had a kidney stone that was worse than her child. I mean, granted, hers was much larger than mine. She said it was worse than childbirth. I told the nurse, I was like, listen, we got to start a support group of this and create awareness, because this is like one hell.
The nurse is going, this motherfucker.
She's like, guys say that all the time. And when I called my uncle, because my dad said my uncle had a couple of them, he goes, oh yeah. He goes, it's been 3 years, 6 months, 3 days, and 10 hours since my last one. He goes, I had to take the gun out of my house. So, he was joking, but that's how bad the pain was. I was like, I had no idea. I had heard asides at kidney stones. It is horrible.
I'm definitely getting a kidney stone.
I drove myself the first time. I drove myself and was crawling into the ER at Gardens Medical. And I said, get this son of a bitch off my back.
Yeah.
He's stabbing me repeatedly. She goes, we got stones. And they bring a wheelchair. They pulled me in. They did a CAT scan. They saw the 3 stones. And
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, I hope you feel better, brother.
Thanks, brother.
We will get so many kidney stone emails that I so don't want to read, because it's going to make my Aretha Franklin pucker.
Forward them to Kevin.
Yeah, yeah, he would be. No, don't do that.
Kevin at KBJ.
Mr. Ponton, we hope you feel better. Did you want to add on?
I was actually going to say for the everyone listening, and for you guys as well, talk about the dreams that you can control. Can you guys control your dreams? Because there's times that Vicky and I have talked about it. You can control your dreams, and if you focus on that, the reason why I was bringing that up is I was going to tell you guys about a dream that I had. I can't control all my dreams, but the one that was most recent that I'm shocked that I had, and maybe someone can tell me what that means. So in my dream, I was sitting on the sofa at home, and I looked down and I realized that I had a boner, and I realized that I could suck my own dick. And Deb walks in my dream. Deb walks in.
Is this a dream you're controlling?
This is a dream. No, I'm not controlling this one, obviously. That's why I'm trying to figure out. But in my dream, Deb walks in.
Hold on. Can we get some sexy music?
I can slow it down if you need me to.
No, back off the microphone just a little bit. It's all right. Go ahead.
So in my dream, Deb walks in the front door as I realize, and I'm just going down on myself, and she goes, "What the fuck?" And I go, I just learned that I could do this. I didn't know. I mean, obviously, I can't. But but sorry, Bird, your look on your face.
I'm waiting for the big ending.
I
here.
was just trying to figure out what that means and why would I fucking have a dream. And I've now had that dream like 4 or 5 times that I can suck my own dick. It's kind of odd. Has anyone ever had that dream before?
So that's not related to the kidney stone?
Not even almost. That was actually what I was going to talk about today before I got the stones. You had said when you found out I had the stones, you're like, all right, I definitely want to talk about this.
It's
But
a segue.
Yeah. No, I
think about your dreams.
Yeah, let
Try to
me
remember your dreams.
let me know.
marinate on can you suck your own dick in your dreams?
That is that's quite
Well,
a
I can
term.
definitively say no.
Hope not.
Not my own.
Mr. Ponton. We hope you feel better, brother.
Wasn't
Get some
that
sleep.
wasn't that a Marilyn Manson thing? That rumor in the 90s?
Oh, yeah,
Remember he had his ribs removed.
There's so many celebrity rumors that the one that still blows my mind. As soon as I say Richard Gere, what do you guys think of?
Gerbil.
Up his ass.
Anus, yeah.
Yeah. During a time where internet wasn't even close to being,
Right.
how does that rumor travel so far where everyone says Richard Gere put a gerbil up his ass? If you Google it, it'll come right up.
Yeah.
I've heard about this rumor. I was, 10, 11? How does that even...
He has to have been asked about it at some point.
Oh,
He had to have done it, right? How else?
that's fucked up. What?
Right? He had to.
No truth.
There's no truth to that.
Oh my
It's just
God.
like, how does that
I'm
one
asking.
come up?
I'm asking ChatGPT.
How
Let's see
does
what
that?
It says.
How
This
does
would be interesting. This would be the one thing you'd be interested in.
Okay, I'm interested in seeing what Chat GPT says. Did Richard Gere really put a gerbil up his ass? And what a horrific fucking rumor. Good gosh.
That's what I'm saying. That rumor's so extreme. It's like, how did that get picked for him?
So I'm on the other end. It's so extreme. There's no way it can't be
I'm
real.
just saying, how did that land on Richard Gere?
But I guess the main commentary that I have is how does something like that just travel so wide?
I don't know.
I don't know either.
You're right, though.
It's a game of telephone. People just like talking shit.
I know,
People
but
just like talking
but,
shit.
but to me though, that is such a real big hotbed of telephone going on right there,
Oh, yeah.
where something you feel like he pissed somebody off.
But that's
and,
what it-
and a publicist
Yeah.
wrote something or said
You
something.
go, oh yeah,
So
yeah, fuck you, Gear.
So this is what
you put gerbils in your rear.
I'm gonna ruin your whole life.
This is what ChatGPT said. No, the story about Richard Gere putting a gerbil up his ass is an urban legend and has no basis in fact. It's one of those persistent Hollywood myths that have been debunked many times. Richard Gere himself has denied the rumor, and there's no evidence to support it.
Well, of course he's denied it.
Yeah, even asked the gerbil.
Yeah, let's get the gerbil and witness.
He has like an True Hollywood story, the gerbil.
It's just crazy how communication works. And you were talking about sea stuff. You know, there was such a big time in our culture as a human. We just had to travel through the oceans and the
is
waters.
tons.
So your vocabulary and your talking points were around ocean-like and
Yes.
sea-like type terminology.
So I asked a follow-up question. How
Did
did
the gerbil-
How did it start? Says the exact origin of the rumor about Richard Gere and the gerbil is unclear, but it's believed to have started in the mid-1980s. It appears to be a combination of sensationalism, celebrity culture, and the spread of misinformation. Such rumors often gain traction because they're shocking and scandalous, making them more likely to be repeated and embellished over time. The rumor likely spread through word of mouth, tabloids, early internet forums, growing into an enduring urban legend despite having no actual factual basis.
So keep in mind, too, this is a time where people's egos were unchecked. I'm not saying they're not unchecked today in Hollyweird, but back then
Nobody would talk.
Richard Gere's on the top of his game,
Yeah.
and he thinks he's invincible. He's a prick to work with, and he pisses off the wrong son of a bitch. They go, you know what? Fuck him. I'm going to write this gerbil shit, and I'm going to have all my friends spread it. That's how you would probably do it.
He's arguably more famous for that rumor than he is for any movie he's done to any of the younger generations.
Are you a gearhead?
No,
No? You don't think he's good looking?
no, I never did. If at all, he looks better now as an older man than he did when he was younger.
Interesting. What are your thoughts on Stallone?
Oh, I always loved.
You want to
love
bone?
Stallone,
You want to
yeah.
bone that Stallone?
The highest for me, the peak of my Stallone period was Rocky 3.
You-
All right.
Rocky 3
Oh,
was,
you
was
love
the
a
best.
tan cut
Yeah.
Hollywood Stallone.
What about a
Yeah.
Cobretti?
No, the height was Rocky 3 for sure.
There's 3 people who get that joke, and I think all 3 are in this.
Yeah, for real.
So I did ask ChatGPT.
Okay, all right. With the fucking robot Becket.
Just
Be
so
here
you
with
know,
your
there's a
friends.
term for it. It's called autofellatio.
Yeah, there's a term for everything. Somebody that wants to, if you want to fuck a ice cube, I guarantee you, if you put in, what does it mean if you want to only fuck ice? There's going to be a term for that.
That's true.
The rapper or the
Syrophilia. Oh yeah.
Vicky!
Iced tea or ice cube? I'd rather fuck. If I had to, I'd do ice cube.
So wait, what?
You're talking about the rapper.
Can you suck your own dick in a dream?
I can lick my own ass in my last dream. It's like a back, like a limbo.
Oh my gosh, so hard.
Like a giraffe.
You bet your ass.
Too many puns. I'm spinning around.
This whole show has just been full of them.
Anything else to add to that Richard Gere story? I do want to do a quick quiz, and then we'll do our local artist, or our KVJ artist, I should say. Match the creature, your Bigfoot cryptozoology type of creature. I just want to quiz everybody, see if they know the state and the creature that is the mascot.
All
For
right.
example, Florida would be the
Skunk ape.
Boom. All right, Becket. Washington.
Bigfoot.
Vicky?
I'd probably go with Bigfoot for Washington
Denny's.
State.
Washington. Yeah, I would think it would have to be a Bigfoot, right?
It's Bigfoot. Very good.
Oh, all right, cool.
I saw Paul Todd nodding as well. New Jersey.
I mean,
Vicky just
well, I think the name's in the
Jersey Devil.
Yeah, I mean that was pretty
The
obvious.
skink butt.
let's not assume that everyone knows about the Jersey Devil. I was going to say the situation.
GTO.
Okay, West Virginia.
I should know.
West Virginia.
We're from West Virginia.
You were
Mothman.
born in West Virginia?
Talking
Did we know?
Mothman.
Did we know this?
Yes.
Yeah, I think we
yes, I've
did,
made
yeah.
fun of it a few times.
It's all
Maybe
relative.
in private.
I knew it. I knew it.
It's all
Yeah,
relative.
it's all relative.
It's all relative.
I
West
knew it
Virginia.
too. I knew. What do you have?
Mothman.
Beckett?
I would go with Mothman.
Are you going with? All right, I'm fucking going to you first.
I answered the right one first last time.
Copy it out.
I answered Bigfoot first.
Vicky.
Yeah, Mothman.
All right, very good. You guys nailed it.
On my backpack, I got a Mothman.
Oh, Denny's.
The Mothman cometh.
Support local wildlife.
Very good, Denny's.
All elementals.
Very good. All right. Massachusetts.
The Hobbas.
The Masshole.
Asshole, yeah. Pain in the
It's
mass.
definitely a creature for sure. The mass hole. Fuck.
Massachusetts. What would that be?
I don't-
Is it a unique one or is
It is. I think you're not gonna.
It's
You got,
unique.
it is very unique. It's the
Richard Gere gerbil.
Haunted
Puck?
gerbil?
Woogie.
Oh, yeah.
You know about the Puck Woogie?
Yeah, a little bit. They look kind of like, don't they look like a little spiny, or like a porcupine kind of? They have like spines on their back.
I
think.
never heard of it. So
Puck Woogie.
when I found this little quiz, I go, this is kind of fun.
That's cool. I never heard of that one.
And it's voted on stories, internet, all that bullshit. It's all, quantized. All right.
It sounds like it.
Minnesota.
Don't you know?
Oh, Minnesota. What kind of creature is Minnesota?
Minnesota. It'd have to be something kind of icy themed, right? Cold themed.
10,000 lakes there. It's water related.
Maybe, yeah. Maybe it's is it a Yeti mermaid?
All right, Beckett.
Nessie.
Oh,
there's
Nessie.
no way.
Very bad. Okay, go on, Vicky.
The Beast of Brer Road. I don't know.
I love it. It's Wendigo.
The Wendigo? No.
Or Wendigo.
Isn't
Is
that?
that-
I thought it was a Native American
Yeah, I
spirit.
thought that was more Native.
Well,
You think that'd be more
Yeah, I'll take it out with fucking Minnesota. I'm just here to.
Minnesota Wendigos, huh? Weird.
Are you calling into question my
I
little?
want to see. I want to see some stats on.
All right,
this.
last one. Here we go. And let's really try here.
All right, is this gonna be a weird? Oh, get out of here! Is this gonna be a weird one?
Arizona, baby. What's going on in Arizona?
So I would think Wendigo for Arizona.
Sun Devil.
Beckett.
All right, I
Wrong
don't hate
again.
that.
Okay.
Stop making me laugh.
Keep put myself out there.
I love it. I love it.
The Dirt Devil.
It is Becky. Do you have a
No, I mean, the only one I would say is chupacabra, but I think that's Texas.
It is Texas. It's the Thunderbird. Now, if anyone listens, and if anyone is listening that lives in Arizona, let us know, is the Thunderbird really a thing? Because I feel like if you go to, obviously there's parts of Florida, we know we've got skunk ape shit down in the Everglades. If you go down there, if you go to Texas, you'll without a doubt see chupacabra shit for sale. If you go to Washington, you'll see Bigfoot stuff, Jersey Devil, West Virginia, all of that. Is the Thunderbird, is the
Pontiac.
Pukwudgie, is the, Wendigo.
So that one's pretty popular, I'd say.
Yeah.
It's like, so they say when people get lost in the woods and they go crazy and they eat their group that they're with, they were consumed by the Wendigo. It possessed them and caused them to do carnage.
Everyone needs a scapegoat.
Right?
Yeah.
Just ask Dahmer.
Yeah.
Episode of Supernatural on it, by the way.
Oh, damn.
Beginning
I feel
seasons.
like that one's got to be in a lot of TV shows
Yeah.
and stuff.
Well, that was back when Supernatural actually did creatures, at the beginning before they got into the whole devil kind of stuff. So they did have an episode with that.
Halfway through Quantum Leap, they went into devil territory.
Man, Denny's. Speaking of shitty TV
Get outta here.
series,
Scott
from
Bakula.
from the late 80s,
Peak of his career.
early 90s.
Dean Stockwell.
Wasn't his character's name Becket?
Yeah, Samuel Beckett.
Samuel Becket.
Denny's.
And then you had Al and you had Ziggy.
He loves that TV show.
I like
He's got him on
Quantum
DVD. That's
I do. I have the DVDs of Columbo and Quantum Leap.
I mean, the balls of me making fun of anybody's content that they consume is pretty
Did
wrong.
I not know that I'm a Columbo person too? I was just watching it today on the computer.
Oh,
It's
that's
cool.
awesome.
Yeah,
I have
Tubi for free.
Oh, yeah, so I do Tubi. You'll get a lot of the Hallmark ones. I have the first 4 seasons on DVD. That way you can get the primo stuff. When you move to Hallmark, they changed the length of the episodes. They're kind of...
I like the old stuff because it's like the 70s and you can see what they're dressed in and all that kind of stuff. So.
All right, 60 people watching. Refresh. 17 people. I'm kidding.
I'll talk Columbo all day.
The numbers are going to the roof. It's Columbo Dog.
Get out of here.
Hey, we're bonding, okay?
I love it. Well, guys, thank you so much for hanging out with the Weird Whatever podcast tonight. I don't want to speak for the crew, but I had great fun.
I had a blast.
This is my favorite segment, although I love all of our segments, to be quite honest with you.
Damn, out all the segments. Is your favorite one?
I love when people are creative, and I want people to realize I do want to focus on local artists, but if you are a KVJ Nationer that does listen to our show and supports us and the Weird Whatever podcast, we want to play your music as well.
Oh, yeah, local to wherever you are.
Yeah, I just want to promote people's original music that they write, that they believe in, that they put their mind and heart and soul in. And this week we've got Come Back Lonely by, I believe it's a duo, because the video, it looks like a duo. Lonely Cat. I'm sorry, A Lonely Cat. The name of the band, A Lonely Cat. The song is Come Back Lonely. If you are a writer, please send me your music. Send it on any form that you can find me on. I mean, I always say, send it on my KVJ.
Fax it.
Jason KVJ on Instagram to get me your shit. It would help us out if you had a YouTube link. With that said, thank you all. Oh, do you have anything to promote, guys?
Just, I am off for my regular job for the summer, so I'm not exclusive to just evening readings. They can be anytime. So if you've hesitated booking a reading because you're only available in the mornings, I'm available now too.
What do you charge, Vicky?
It's $35 for 15 minutes or $60 for 30 minutes. And you can send me an email at Nancy, Nancy, 38drew@aol.com.
How much do you charge for like an investigation? Like
Nothing.
Those are free, Becket.
Those are free.
I mean, I remember that, Vicky.
I know you want your place investigated.
Yeah.
Okay, y'all, here's our artist, Come Back Lonely by A Lonely Cat. Denny's, take it away.
The days are filled with melodies you sing to me. Time stands still and history repeats. Should I wait? Could I lose everything I find in you? Am I too late to get through? Now that we don't have today, your love is always so far visit in my dreams and say goodbye. Will I win? Will I lose? Am I blind to the news? Am I too late to get through? Is it a price I can pay? Your love is always so far away. I don't even think I know where you are. So long, I found myself to be wrong. I don't even think I know who you are. So run away, don't come back long. So run away, so run. Would you come back lonely? Did I win? Did I lose? Everything I find in you. Was I too late to get through? Is there enough